Hey guys, so we're going to go through today's homework question before we start the second part of compound interest. So again, remember that your formula will be f equals to p 1 plus I to the power of t. Okay, so with that in mind, really simple. So some of these are final values, so you can see these ones here are final value, and then the other three are interest. So we'll look at the final value first. So we have f is equal to 22,500, 1 plus 0.05, and t in this case is 3 years. So again, if you want to write the p above this, the I equals 0.05 above that, and then my t is 3. And again, all you have to do then is pop that into calculator, and when you do that, you get f is equal to, so you get 26,046, and you get a decimal there, and it's 5625. So I'm going to round that to 560, round it to the nearest cent. I'm just going to pop up the answers then for the other two, because I think it should be fairly straightforward as to how to do it. You're just plugging it into that formula. Okay, so just a couple of notes on these three then. This one should have been fairly straightforward. Again, just putting it to the power of 4. This one here is a little bit trickier. So first of all, if you ever want to find 10.5 as a decimal, all you have to do is do 10.5 on your calculator and divide it by 100, and it'll give you your decimal place, and that's this here, 0.105. And then the other thing was, just to be careful, it said t was 3.5 years, so your 3.5 goes up here instead of t. And you can just do that in your calculator using that X button with a little box, coloured in box. You'll see it there underneath the big blue button in the middle, right beside the X to the power of 2 button. So the next one then, you had to find out the interest. So let's start with question 2 then. We have, and I'll just do this in a different colour, just so we can separate them. So we have f equals 1600. I realise that colour is not great. Maybe we'll do it in red. 1600, 1 plus 0.03, and my t is 6 years. So if I pop that into my calculator, I get 1600 bracket 1 plus 0.03 to the power of 6, and I'm going to get f equals to 1910.48. Okay, so it's a long number, but 48 will do. And then in order to get my interest, I'm going to take this amount here, let me see now, this amount here, and I'm going to take the 1600 away from it. So my interest amount then there will be I equals to 1910.48 minus 1600. You will get 310.48. And I think that was fairly straightforward. Let me just do the second one, I suppose, question 4, just in case you're still not sure. So again, I'm just going to put a line there, just so that you can go through the answers yourself. So that would have been that question. Okay, and then just put a line there and put a line there, so just make it a little bit easier for you to see. Okay, so the next one then was 20, so your f equals to 25,400, 1 plus 0.03, and my time is 10 years. Again, you can mark them above, so like p I equals 0.03 and t is 10 years. You will get a final value of, so your final value will be 34,135.476. So I'll round it up to 48. And again, all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my Thought that was my highlighter. So my 34,000, and I'm going to take 25,400 from that, and that will give me my interest value. So my interest value then will be I equals to 8,735.48. And I'm going to do the very last one then, and then I'll just pop up the answer. Okay, and so the last one there as well, I just rounded it to 0.35, and I get, sorry, this should be 791.35. Okay, so now we're going to look at a little bit more difficult of a question. So, for example, if you're told, Niall will invest a sum of money for 3 years, so I know that 3 will be my T. Remember, our formula is F equals P, 1 plus I is a decimal, T to the power of T. So an interest rate of 6%, so we know I is equal to 0.06. At the end of 3 years, he has 17,865.24. So that's actually my F. So now they've given me my F, but they actually haven't given me my P. How much did he initially invest? So what I always say to students here is just plug in what you know. So I know my final amount is 17,865.24. I do not know my P, so I can just pop P in there. And I have 1 plus 0.06 all to the power of 3. Okay, so what I want to do first of all, before I do anything else, I'm going to just simplify that. So I have 17,865.24. I have P, and then 1 plus 0.06 gives me 1.06. You can pop that into calculator, all to the power of 3. Okay, so on this now, again, I'm going to just simplify. So I have 17,865.24. So I'm doing nothing with that left hand side at the minute. And then I have 1.06 all to the power of P. Or sorry, multiply by P to the power of 3. So I can actually simplify this side. 1.06 to the power of 3. And I'm going to get 1.191016. I'm going to multiply that by P. Okay, so all I did there was this part here. I just stuck that part into my calculator and I got this. Okay, now the last thing I can do here is that I have this looks very similar to what we would have done, so I'm just going to flip it around so you can see it a little bit better. 1.191016 P equals 17,865.24, and you'll remember this from algebra, where what we can do now is we can just divide both sides. So whatever number is in front of the variable, and in this case the variable of course is going to be P. Okay, so whatever number is in front of that, I can just divide both sides to get P by itself. So dividing both sides, I get 1.191016, and if I do it to one side, I must do it to the other. 1.191016, and they will cancel, so I get P is equal to, and I just pop that into a calculator, so 17,865.24 divided by 1.191016, and I am going to get 15,000 euro. Okay, so the main thing with this is just what do you know, and whatever you know. So take your formula, and the formula is always provided to you. What information have you got? What can you plug in, and how can you solve algebraically? Okay, here is the exact same question. So what I'm going to get you to do now is I'm going to get you to pause the video, have a look back over the notes on the last question, have a go at this one. Let me just start you off. First of all, we put down our F is equal to P 1 plus I to the power of T. We already know that 3 years T. We have F, our final value, 12,597.12, and we have our interest rate here of 8%, which we know is going to be 0.08. So pause the video now, have a go with that question, and then when you're ready, press play and we'll go through it together. Okay, so let's go through it then. So we have 12,597.12 equals to, I don't have my p, so I have 1 plus 0.08, and that's all going to be to the power of 3. Now if I simplify that, I get 12,597.12 equals to p. And I'm actually just going to go ahead, rather than add these two together and get 1.08, I'm just going to go ahead and put them in brackets in my calculator. 1 plus 0.08, close my bracket, and then put it to the power of 3. And what I'll get here is 1.259712. And all I did was I just put this whole thing into my calculator, including brackets. Okay, so that leaves me with, I'm just going to flip them around. So, and you can flip them around like this to make it look a little bit easier. So 1.259712 multiplied by p, of course, and that's equal to 12,597.12. And in order to get p by itself, I divide it by the number that's in front of it. So 1.259712, and if I do it to one side, I must do it to the other. 259712, and I'll get p is equal to, so 12,597.12 divided by 1.2597.12, that should give me 10,000. So that was her principal amount when she first started.